Before I go into some important news here, I'm going to show you guys, as some people ask me when it comes to self-sufficiency and what's going on here at the farm, what I'm doing in the back of the property. So I'm going to show you the furnace. I did this in one of the videos way back then, and I'll go a little bit more in details here, why and how I'm doing this. So let me show you real quick. So this is the outdoor wood burning furnace. It heats up the house when it's really cold outside, like in the 0 or below 0. It doesn't really do a good job. I have to use this propane tank. But I believe once I have this guy, he showed up a couple of times and he's been working on it. I think we're going to be able to get it going the way it needs to be. But it also gives me hot water. Right now, I don't know if you can see smoke coming out. I'm not using propane at all, just throwing in a couple of logs, and it lasts all day and we get hot water. So this is the outside wood burning furnace and hot water. Like I said, it needs a little bit of work. Propane tank was here when we got the property. Had a leak. It was quickly fixed, no problems at all since then. And this here is the generator that now works. This is pretty amazing when you just pull the lever down and switch from the main grid to basically go on propane, off grid if you will, with this solid machine here. It's pretty crazy feeling, like I said, when you turn it on and all of a sudden you got lights in the house. So yeah, so this is our generator here. All of this was here, not these boxes, I just use them here on the side. It looks like a mess for the furnace when the fire goes out, so I can just refire it again. So yeah, that's for that part. And I'll switch gears real quick when it comes down to all of this, why I'm doing what I'm doing. You look at what's going on in the world, look what's going on in the United States. It's been pretty crazy with food shortages, with everything that we've been witnessing from lockdowns, etc. So I decided to basically exchange a big house in Las Vegas on a quarter-acre lot for a smaller house. We're talking from 4,500 square feet to 2,000 square feet, maybe even a little less if you don't count the outside patio in the back, on 37 acres for 3 times cheaper. That was the decision I made. I wanted to do this for a while, but no opportunities really came across that made sense. And it was very hard to sell the house in Las Vegas. And this is when the economy was, booming. Beautiful house, only 2 years old, not even. Everything inside was upgraded to the point of when you look at maybe MTV Cribs, if you remember that show. Strip view, like I said, huge balcony, only 12 homes in a gated community. A beautiful place with a view of not just the strip but mountains. It was in Lone Mountain area in Las Vegas. Just could not sell for over a year, even though homes next to us were being built. Not looking as good, to be honest with you. They had some different upgrades, but the layout was not as good. We had 6 bedrooms. They were pretty spacious. Kitchen looked a lot better. This is from a lot of people that were looking at it when we were selling, and they were comparing them. And the ones next to us, they were just 2 years newer. They were selling for 1.5, 2 million. And just for 600,000, 650, we could not sell for, like I said, over a year. So that right there was telling me it was time to get out. This is not the booming economy. Raiders were coming in Vegas. Californians were coming in by the thousands per day. All this stuff was screaming, sell it for possibly even 800 or maybe a million, and none of that happened. So the property we got, 34 acres, as I mentioned earlier. The house, way smaller, more than a double, but built in the 90s, turnkey ready, did not need any work at all besides a couple of things. Like I said, the furnace outdoor needed a little bit of work here and there. That's about it. So that was the decision I made. And then later, I've heard, of course, will Bill Gates investing in land. I wanted to make sure I have something, and then you hear all this new narrative that's being pushed, and a lot of people embracing it, which is even more scary and crazy. You will own nothing and be happy. Jeffrey Gunlock, the legendary bond investor, is talking about how farmland is right now probably the best buy besides silver that I've been talking about for a long time. So I'm pretty happy with those two investments I've done, and some of the silver stocks. They've been getting slammed for the last couple of months, but now are catching a bit again, and definitely gold stocks. So that's how I'm setting up for this upcoming collapse and the destruction of the US dollar, basically your purchasing power going to nowhere because of all this money printing. Nowhere besides backwards, as we all know. When you look at food prices, lumber, look at lumber prices, look at copper prices. Let's say you decided to build a home, right? Because mortgage rates are also going up. So you are getting priced out of that. So you're looking at, well, I had some land, so I'm going to build my own home. You can't even build your own home because lumber prices are going through the roof. Copper, you need a lot of copper to build your home. Also, same thing. Copper is close, if not past, the all-time highs, and a lot of people are talking about it's going higher. So it's really just open your eyes when you go outside. You don't need me, you don't need anyone, you don't need the government or the Federal Reserve tell you that we need more inflation when you already know where inflation is. You can see it when you pump your gas, or like I said, you go to the grocery store, your healthcare bills and everything else, tuition, you name it. So right now, what I'm looking at is, with all this censorship that's going on, and where I'm getting with all that is, when you look at, and I'm telling you from my own experience, when censorship goes into overdrive, like it's happening in the United States, like basically taking down a sitting president, taking down platforms like Parler that had millions and millions of users, and they just decided to shut it down. Microsoft and Apple basically got together and said, and Google of course, and they said, no, we're just going to take them down. It's been a couple of months right now. They are nowhere close to be up and running. So very scary times. And like I said, when you see this start to happen, censorship in overdrive, the next move is hyperinflation, and then major civil unrest. We already have mass inflation, like I said, in things that you need on a daily basis. We already had a lot of social unrest happen, but that's unfortunately one of those you haven't seen anything yet. That's coming up very soon, when people realize what's happening with all these jobs that are not going to be coming back because of lockdowns and everything that happened. So I believe this hyperinflation setup is done by design. These banksters, these freaks, the true invisible enemy, they're doing this on purpose in order to force people into universal basic income, UBI. This has been talked about for a while right now, and what perfect timing right now than to do this while we are under the pandemic and all this madness that's been going on. You're going to use COVID 24/7 as scapegoat, then to usher in, like I said, universal basic income. How you do that? Well, you all know what happened. Shutting down on small businesses while the bigs continue to get bigger. Walmart did not get shut down, but your local store down the street was shut down. All of this was done deliberately to push people into poverty, basically being down on your knees, begging for help, while you will be happy owning nothing. All this leads to communism. Take it as you go. Dislike the video, like it. Honestly, I'm telling you from experience, this is where all this is going. I've been talking about it for a while. A lot of people said basically, you're just crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. United States is the greatest country in the world. Nothing can happen here like that. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I do agree. United States is still the greatest country in the world. But the way this is going right now and what we're seeing, I would not bet on it the United States, for at least this decade, will continue to hold that status. And that obviously comes with the petrodollar, with the US dollar being the world's reserve currency, and all of this that a lot of people were talking about and everybody was called crazy. It is unfortunately coming right to your door. I hope you guys continue to prepare. I hope you had some cash set aside and possibly working on getting yourself a generator in case electricity goes out, not just because of bad weather, because of who knows what. We're looking at major problems with China now in the United States and Russia. All of this is been going on for a while. You just don't know. And I hope you are stacking on precious metals. Yes, the pet rock. That is number one wealth preserving asset. It is, and it has been for centuries. And when you hear this time it will be different, you better run for the hills. This is sounding like I'm telling you what to do, but I'm really not. I'm telling you what I'm doing and why. Do your own research and just open your eyes. Take care. God bless you all.